Hey, I'm Lori. Welcome to Homemade Simple. I'm really glad you're here today. Today is sort of a different video. See, I have a fear about a particular homemaking event, and I thought that it was way past time for me to face that fear and overcome it so that I can add one more tool in my tool belt for preserving food. I'm sure you have already guessed that my major fear in homemaking is pressure canning. Well, I finally decided that I would tackle this head on last week, and this video is the process of me going through all of the steps of pressure canning my first batch of diced tomatoes. This is not a how-to video. This is just me going through my feelings and emotions, working through my fear, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, while that is starting to build pressure, I just thought it would be good for me to sort of document how I am feeling, because I don't really know what the source of this anxiety is, but I have had anxiety about pressure canning for as long as I can remember, and I've always allowed it to prevent me from doing the things that I wanted to do as far as preserving our food. And I took a step a couple years ago and I asked for a pressure cooker for my birthday, and it sat in the garage all year last year, and I wasn't able to overcome the fear enough for me to bite the bullet and take it out. And this year it's been sort of looming over me that I need to overcome this fear so that I can take the next step. There's so many benefits to being able to can and preserve my food for my family, for our food budget, so that I can take advantage of all of the fresh fruits and vegetables that we have offered to us on different occasions and that we grow here, to be able to preserve our milk for whenever our cows are dried up. There's so many important, beneficial opportunities for me to preserve our food by canning, but I've just been too afraid. And so today is the day that I am tackling this fear, and as I talk to you, my anxiety level is going up because the burner is on and I really do not know what I'm doing. I've watched videos, I've heard people talk about it, people have explained to me how it works. I've gotten the best canner that I know how to get with these locking wing nut things that are all around it, so there's no way that it's going to explode, but my anxiety is still rising as the temperature rises on the pot. So I'm proud of myself for finally tackling this. I'm sort of disappointed that it's taken this long, but hopefully today will be a red letter day in my life, and I'm hopeful for the future of being able to preserve my food. And I know this sounds really dramatic, but I think it's important to be real that we don't know everything, and we can't possibly know everything, especially in our society. I grew up in the city. Nobody I knew canned. I didn't learn how to do it. My grandmother didn't teach me how to do it, and really she was the only one that did can that I had any access to. So it's time now for me to learn a new skill that will benefit me and my family, even though it is scary. And so I thought it was good for me to document a before feeling, and then afterward, maybe I will be much more confident. But I'm going to put this down because I'm getting nervous about maybe missing a step or something. So I will just let you watch from here on out. Okay, so everything is good. Now I'm just waiting for the 10 minutes. I'm waiting for steam to start coming through here, and then that's got to go for 10 minutes, and then I put on the weight, and that's the part that starts stressing me out. So I will be back in about 15 minutes. Okay, so I thought I would give you a little bit of an update. I waited for 20 minutes for this humongous thing to start blowing up steam out of the regulator valve, and so it finally started doing that. So now I've started my timer for 10 minutes, and as this process has gone on, I have strangely increased in my confidence, even though nothing has happened yet, and even though there's not, the pressure has not built up in the cooker, and I cognitively know that, but I think just building experience and a little bit of time, I know heat is rising in the cooker and it's not exploded on anybody yet. That has given me some confidence. So I think by the end of this process, I will feel a lot more confident if just in 15 minutes of the heat rising and the steam building in the pressure cooker has given me some much needed confidence. I'm really hopeful that after the procedure has been completed and the lid is off and the jars are done, I'll feel a lot more confident doing this next time. So hopefully everything will continue to go as planned. Okay, the 10 minutes is up, so now it's time for me to put my pressure regulator on there. And this sort of stressed me out too. It was like, put the hole where the number is that you need to have the pressure, and I didn't know what that meant, but it was real simple. I was just freaking out. So it says 10-pound pressure, so I'm going to put it on that hole, and I'm going to hope for the best. Does it just sit on there? I don't know. Place the hole marked with the number 10 over the vent pipe. Okay, I don't know, I guess that's it. And then it says start counting 25 minutes from the first jiggle. Okay, so now we wait for the first jiggle. Okay, so I'm really slow to figure things out, apparently, but I'm learning slowly. So the thing is going to start wiggling until the pressure gets up. So I have a gauge, so I don't have to worry. I'm seeing the gauge. The gauge is at like 5 right now. And so when it gets to 10, I'm supposing the little thing will start wiggling. So see, I'm experiencing this and I'm figuring it out as I go. It doesn't have to be so stressful, but apparently I have to make everything complicated. I'll be back. It's reached 10 and it just did something. So I'm going to count that as the first jiggle and I'm going to start my timer. The directions said it shouldn't do that more than 4 times in a minute. And if it does, I need to turn the pressure down. So now I've got to be staring at it for 25 minutes. Okay, the time has completed. Nothing blew up. I'm really happy about that. And it's time for me to turn the stove off, let the pressure release by itself. I have no idea how long that's going to take, but I feel really good that nothing bad happened, and I'm hoping that when I open the lid, there's not broken jars all over the place. The jars were touching each other, so I don't know if that was a no-no or not, but I guess we'll see in a minute. Well, we're getting closer. I went outside to feed all of the animals and gather the eggs and give everybody water. And I came in and the pressure is at 0. So now it's time for me to take off the weight and wait 2 more minutes. Then I can open the lid. Okay, so the 2 minutes have passed and now it's time for me to unscrew the nuts and try to take off the lid. I'm going to be very careful about this part. It doesn't look like anything is broken, but the water is a weird color, so I don't know what that means. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading the directions. I don't know, there's no directions for this next part, so I've seen people put it on a towel. I'm just gonna put it on a towel. It looks like the dome is down on them, so that's good. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. The liquid on the bottom, I think that's okay because I watched a video today of a lady that didn't know what she was doing and hers looked exactly like that too. So I'm feeling good about that. I think this is because we have hard water, so I think I'm supposed to wash that off. But I think all of them sealed. Oops, not that one. That one was naughty and didn't seal. Okay, so we have one. Well, 6 out of 7 is not bad. I'm gonna count that as a success. It's the day after I canned the first batch ever of tomatoes, and I just rinsed them off. I got all of the hard water off of it, and after I evaluated all of the jars, I think everything worked just like it was supposed to. Now, I'm not sure about headspace, and so it looks like even though I crammed these up to the rim when I started, this one is like way down below, so I'm gonna have to ask somebody about that knows much more than I do about canning. But as far as any other issues, there's no other apparent issues. All 7 seem to have made a good seal. They all seem, the lids are firmly on. I can't pull them off, and so it seems like it was a success. And I think the biggest success of the whole project really was me overcoming that substantial fear that I had for a really long time about canning in general. Water bath canning, not so much, but the pressure canner really gave me anxiety. I really was worried about it, but after I experienced it once, sorry for the noise, we have a dishwasher. After I experienced it once, I have a lot more confidence in the process, and I'm not afraid anymore. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of extra confidence in the canner that I have, because the 6 screws on there, I had them very tight, and 2 of them were loose, but it's still, when I was finished processing, 2 of the screws were loose, but it still held the pressure perfectly, and it never showed any signs of doing anything scary or dangerous. So I have a lot more confidence in my abilities. I have a lot more confidence in the process, and I have a lot more confidence in the canner. So I think that I'm ready for a whole nother batch of vegetables to go in the pressure canner. I feel like I have overcome that initial fear factor that was there with the first process, and I'm really looking forward to having that. I'm really looking forward to having that option as a preservation tool that I can use for anything that comes into our kitchen that we can't use right away. I hope that this has been at the least an entertaining video for you to sort of see my probably unnecessary anxiety level, and I hope that it will give you the confidence to approach something that you might be a little bit apprehensive about trying, whether it's in the kitchen or in the garden, or another animal that you would like to have but has caused you a little bit of apprehension about biting the bullet and giving it a try. I hope that this will give you some confidence to know that the fear is real, and it is something that we have to deal with on a regular basis in our lives, but it is also something that we can overcome. We can even have a greater level of confidence after we have overcome that serious fear that held us back for so long, and we tackle that fear, and we are on the other side with a lot more confidence than we had at the beginning. I hope that you have now found the confidence to go and do whatever that is, and I hope that you will leave a little note in the comments below about the things that do cause you a little bit of apprehension and how you are going to go about dealing with those fears in your life. I'm really thankful that you're here. I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you, and I will see you next time.